Okay, this morning I am at 1428 Bates Lane in Schaumburg, Illinois. Homeowner name William Bartnicki. My instructions state that there are several wind damaged shingles that are in need of tending to. Wind damage specifically, so we'll go up on the main part of the roof and see, and one on the garage roof as well, one shingle on the garage roof. I'll do a repairability attempt on this video, on this roof first, and then in a separate video I'll do the one on the garage in back. Just make sure I have everything. I believe I do. And thus far I've only set up my ladder for the first time. We are walking every slope of the roof. Alright, so on this front facet, our slope, I already see one on the back slope, and we're going to end up doing the video on this one because it's in a good location. That, and these are not rusted, so this tells me that it's recent wind damage. It hasn't been sitting for years upon years. So we'll do the repairability attempt here. But let's just walk the rest of the roof, because I know that several shingles are being covered. Bouncy plywood right there. Also, all of the vents are being covered. 10, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up here. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. All of these vents on the roof, main house rather, are being tended to and replaced as well. Here's this wind damaged one right on the edge. I'm seeing more plywood right here that's pretty bouncy. And I can see the joist rafter. Okay, so I know that, well, and here's this one right here. Just looking up underneath it. I'm going to take this off because this is one I haven't, nothing I've done, but you can already see underneath there a little mat transfer. Mat transfer is indeed damaged. It's not just something that sealant is supposed to fix. Sealant will seal them down, but it doesn't fix damage. So anyway, on one we haven't touched yet, already just a little bit of mat transfer. All right, but we're doing the repair on this guy. All right, I have run out of chalk to mark it all up, so I am going to stop this video. I'll resume it next, and we will perform it on this. Okay, so in removing this shingle and looking at it, we'll take a closer look afterwards. In removing this shingle, we would put a line here, but this is missing. We will need, and I'll number them left to right, the tabs that we're messing with. Well, actually, we're not messing with this shingle. This is the left part of this one shingle, so this is good. Well, there we go. Gonna have to live with that. In all, because we are removing this shingle, which goes from here all the way up to here, underneath on the plywood here to about there, we're going to need to, we're already gonna mess with that one. But this shingle is going to need to be messed with. I say messed with, but impacted by the popping of this seal. We need to pop this seal so that we can, you know, have the shingle up and get underneath it to get the nails in this first row. Because we're going to this first row, that also means we're going to be messing with the shingle above. It looks like it starts here and it would end here. That's shingle number 3 in toto. Because we have to get underneath here, we also need to impact shingle number 4, which will impact the one we marked up. Again, each of the numbers, though there's repeats, that's just, there's 3 tabs to this one shingle. We're only messing with this 1 tab on shingle number 1, this 1 tab on shingle number 4, this 1 tab on shingle number 5. But we are going on to the 6th one because, again, we have to go up underneath here and get the nail that's probably right here. So we're going to need to break this seal, and this seal. And we might, nope, not that one. We won't need to go to that one. So we're dealing with these 6 shingles in this area. Oh, and because we're going to be breaking the seal on this, just so we have an extra wiggle room underneath, we're going to be impacting this shingle over here. All right, so here's our final setup for shingles that will be impacted just by the removal of this one shingle. I will be, because I have this on, I'm going to first, in every single case, just pop the shingle, or pop the seal strip that's underneath each of them so that we can ultimately see what we're messing with. And this was the wind damage shingle. You'd expect this to come out pretty easily. If that one came up, perhaps these two were already loose. But we will be able to get right underneath and get our nails just fine. All right. Now starting with the seal strip on number 3. And again, this is ripped this way, it stops here, but just to give ourselves some extra wiggle room on this shingle, we want to make sure that we go the whole, which is the whole way of the seal strip, which is why this shingle will be impacted. All right. Maybe we might need to impact that one. We'll number it if we have to later. But as you see, I wasn't going beyond what the snake tool allowed. Some of them you have to really dig in there, but this one was quite simple. Today's a nice crisp day too. Not crisp, but 60 degrees, cloudy, nothing major. All right, now we're going to remove each of those nails. Sorry for the adjustment of this. And there's that. Ultimately, the kind of things we're looking for during a video like this. Repairability attempt, our shingle pliability, which we'll test on the removed shingle once it's out. Shingle pliability, we're looking for mat transfer, as we've already seen on the other wind damaged shingle on the main portion of the roof. Never going beyond the angle that the snake tool is allowing for. Alright, we should be able, unless there's a surprise nail somewhere, to simply... boom! Alright, so taking just a quick look. Again, this is our removed shingles, so that we get to test some stuff out here. This pretty pliable. I mean, obviously any shingle you do this to, it's gonna rip and tear, but yeah, these aren't necessarily 2-year-old shingles, but they're not like 25-year-old shingles, so looks pretty good. Oh, but in popping that seal, I told you that we would look at things like mat transfer. You're seeing little bits of it, so we'll go across this top here, and you see areas like this, like in the middle of the tar strip where it's a little darker. Not all of it is mat transfer, but there are some portions where it is. And mat transfer is when it gets down to the actual fiberglass of the shingle. It's not just it's the granules coming off, and you can see the fiberglass. And there are several little areas where it's shiny, and you can indeed see the fiberglass, because fiberglass is shiny. So we're looking across here, like this little area all up in here. Looking at that. And then you get to these interesting ones where these holes are actually pretty big. You can go back to the section of the video where I was taking this nail out, but in some cases the seal strip adheres to the nail, and so when you go underneath and you break the seal, well, some of the mat, the granules, go with that seal that you just broke. And then when you're taking out, you're going underneath and taking out the nail. You take the nail out, and a lot of tar is still adhered to the nail. It makes the hole bigger than it would have been. I mean, this is a really good example because you can see how big that is, but you see how uniform this one is. See how big and jagged this one is versus the uniformity of that one. So that's an issue you do get on shingles like this. I mean, the other two came out really nice. The uniformity there, little bit of you got mat transfer on that one too, I guess, but it didn't bust all the way through, and so the hole is not bigger than it would have been. Neither is this one. That's pretty uniform. But again, you get this when you're removing shingles, and that not only happens for ones you're removing, that can happen quite easily the ones that you go underneath here. This one right now looks pretty good, but we also, that's only because the tar strip was above the nail, but you still see a little bit of mat transfer in there. On these two tabs of shingle number 3, where shingle number 6 was adhered. Even on this middle tab of shingle number 6 to where it goes onto the first 2 tabs of shingle number 3. And when I say the first 2 tabs, I mean left to right. 1 being the most left, 2 being the middle, 3 being the most right, because we read from right to left. But you see a light example of it. There was that nail was in there, adhered down. You can see the tar strip right over it. Again, we removed it gently enough, but this hole even is bigger than it would have been versus this one's uniformity. And right here, a good bit of mat transfer. But let's look at the wind damaged portion of where we removed this. Okay, so this is where the wind damaged portion was. Again, we see the same nails, not rusty, so that means it was relatively recent. You can see some shininess poking through. Yeah, I mean, you see the shininess poking through in places all across. Shininess being the fiberglass. Then, where shingle number 4 was adhered to shingle number 5. Yeah, a little bit right there. And then where shingle number 3 was on shingle number 7, that actually looks pretty good. However, in the vast majority of cases, seeing the mat transfer that we've been causing, that is further damage. Thus why it's not feasible just to do a little spotty patch here and there, one shingle here, one shingle there, one on the other side. No, you're causing damage to the other ones around it. And I know that all 10 vents were covered on this roof, and so just to mark it out, hold on, I apologize, had to reach in and grab my chalk. But you, in each vent, it looks like at least these 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, 4, there are nails in the fronts of each. And so when you go underneath here, because the best way to remove a vent is to go up from underneath here. Why not just right here? Well, if you go like this, you risk ripping the, these are aluminum, it's not hard to rip aluminum. And so if you go here and the nail is in far enough, you don't get to it and you end up scratching stuff, and it's most safe to go under here. So you would have to pop this, you would have to pop this seal, you would have to pop this shingle seal, and depending on if these roofers nailed it here and here, you would have to go here and here, you'd have to go here and here. And then some roofers, if they're, I mean, if they're doing it as they go, which that's how you do roofs. Some roofing companies, roofers, just do 1 nail in the top. Some of them do 2 nails in the top. Well, if that's the case and it's directly onto the plywood, you're going to need to go here and here. And now you see how many different shingles you're getting involved. Obviously, it depends on where they start and stop, but you're dealing with, at maximum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shingles if this is split down there. Let's round down to 8 total, because maybe this is the same shingle, maybe this is the same shingle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you do that for all 10 vents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're dealing with 80 different shingles. And if you're getting the mat transfer like we're talking about, there's much more going on. That, and these are pretty close to the ridge. This is going to start getting pretty hairy pretty quick. All of them are just a little bit different, but this one especially. If those nails are up here underneath into the plywood, this is going to start getting really hairy. And again, with the mat transfer that we're observing over here, which is damage, it would really start to cause damage elsewhere. And that is why this roof ultimately is not in a repairable state. Just to make clear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These ones up here, this one right on the ridge, that's going to cause damage. This one right in the ridge, that's going to cause a lot of damage to other shingles outside of the 8 that we kind of discerned. This one is going to cause damage outside of the 8 that we've already discerned. This one certainly as well. This one's a little further down, which is helpful in these cases, but you still got these front nails. You're gonna have to deal with all 8 shingles that we discerned from the one down there, and this one as well. Again, this is why this roof is not in a repairable condition. More would have to be done as a result of these repairs than anything else. Okay, I am up on the garage, and there's my last repairability attempt. But up on the garage, it looks like we're replacing one roof vent. I don't know if it's this one, because I do see a dent, or if it's this one, because I see something much more uniform to hail damage. But in any case, my explanation for unrepairability is the same as it was over on that side. If you start messing with, and look, now you have 1, 2, 3 shingles down here. If you start messing with these shingles down here, you're gonna have to start messing with these. And let's be gracious, say that this is one whole shingle. It's not. you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're messing with all these shingles up here. And again, I'm going with this one because there's clear damage in those locations. But you start messing with more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, this one under here 14, this one under here 15. You got a lot more on your hands, not only mat transfer wise, but even over there. Once you start getting involved here and having to not be more liberal with the cranking, that's not what I'm trying to say, but once you're going to have to finesse the snake tool or the pry bar that much more, tearing is much more likely to occur. And given the pliability of these shingles, which is good, but they're not 2-year-old shingles, as I said. They're not 25, they're not brittle. But they're not flex them 180 degrees the opposite way and you're in good shape. My fear is mat transfer and ripping and tearing the shingles, given that in these locations you typically have to finesse the snake tool or the removal tool, pry bar, to get the nails out more. And especially here, if these roofers were, I think, I will say good, they nailed here, 1, 2, and they nailed twice up here, 1, 2. That ensures that the vent will not shake in the wind. And so if they were good, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 nails in here. You're really going to have to, you're going to cause more damage than just a simple remove the vent and put it back in. You see those every once in a while, and those are great. But those are the ones that are typically only nailed in the front, and then they wiggle when you shake them. I haven't touched this one yet. They wiggle a little bit in the back when you shake them, but this one is not wiggling at all. You can tell that these roofers did something up here, whether it's 1 right there or 2 right in the corners. This is a solid vent. Given these factors, neither is this in a repairable condition, just to remove that. And I would say it's not even just possible to do with this one either. Again, I can't tell which one was covered. I would assume it's that one over there, which is why I did it. But even if it, which is why I use that as an example. But even if it were this one, same reason. Same reason. This is a solid vent too. That's why this roof is not in a repairable condition.